handling of the tool is very important. Then again we have to classify different types of tools. Different types of tools means hand tools. Hand tools means as per name, in this case hand tools related with the hands. This tool is used to perform a work on a material or servicing of an automobiles. Then second type is special purpose tool. Special, as per name, in this case special purpose. Special purpose means not a simple but used to perform work on a material or servicing of automobile for some special purpose only. The next is power tools. As per in this case name attached with the word power tools means in this case tools operated by additional source of power, not manually. If we are use this tool with the help of some power, power means ki either electrical power or hydraulic power or any other mechanism, means power tools we can use with the help of some additional power and mechanism other than the manually used with hand tools, means without hand during the operations with the additional power is used or power source is other power source, then it is known as power tools. Then measuring equipments are tools used for the purpose of the measurement. They are two types, precision tools and non-precision tools. In case of tool is very important thing, measuring tools are equipments. Accuracy, precision and sensitivity of the instrument are measuring tools. In this case given as the precision tools and non-precision. Precision tools means one term is precision or sensitivity. Sensitivity of the tools is defined as the how much output variation in the output with the variation of the input. Again we have to study about the hand tools. Hand tools, we have already aware about the hand tools, means in this tool we have to use without any power, we have manually operation. First is known as the spanner. Again in this case spanner, double end spanner. As per name in this case double end spanner. Double end spanner and tools are used for loosening and tightening of the nuts and bolts. Means if we want to use tightening or loosening of the nut and bolts, then we can use double end spanners. Double end spanner means in this case we have to utilize both the ends, not only one ends. Then double end ring spanners. You can see in the diagrams there is difference between the double end ring spanners. These are closed at both the ends as they have full circular ring at both the ends. They also come in same size as in double set spanner. In sizes no matter, they also come in the same size as in the double set spanner. It has 12 internal flats or grooves which are used in loosening the nuts and bolts wherever the space is very less. Means in this case 12 internal flats or grooves is given which is used in loosening the nuts and bolts where the space is very less. Means in this case one thing is given as where space is very limited, means space is very limited, then we can use the double end ring spanners. Then next type of is box type spanner. As per name in this case box type. One is box type spanner is used where the nut bolts are deep in engine. It has Tommy bar and hexagonal shape working tip. Means when we have to use at a deep place in the engine where we cannot use manually, then we can use the box type of the spanners. Then next is adjustable spanner. As per name in this case adjustable. Adjustable means we can adjust depending upon our requirement. Suppose that where less space required or more space required, in this spanner we can adjust depending upon our requirement. Means it has square thread or Acme thread with 29 degrees. Acme thread is again a different types of thread we can use, but in this case Acme thread is used, that is specification is 29 degree. 29 degrees is angle of inclinations. This is an open ended. As per name in this case open ended range. Open ended means in this case end is open, not closed as in case of previous, with a hardened and movable jaws. Hardened and movable jaw. Hardened is the material properties and movable jaw. In this case jaw is movables, that is known as the movable jaw. These spanners are used to carry a stock of various size of spanners. Means spanners are used to carry a stock of various size of spanners. Means this spanner can replace the various size or various types of spanners. It is a very convenient to use in adjustable. If we are talking about the uses, then it is very simple or convenient to use our adjustable spanners. Then next is screwdrivers. Screwdriver is mostly used in domestic purpose also. Screwdriver is a tool which is flattened or cross shaped tip. It may be flattened type or cross shaped. Cross shaped tip that fits into the head of a screw to loosen or tighten. Again, in this case, you have to use either for the loosen purpose or the tighten purpose. In this case, if you are going to classify the screwdriver, then what are the basis? In this case, we have to classify is done on the basis of the size of the working tip, shape of the working tip as well as its length. Again, we have to classify on the basis of size of the working tip and or the shape of the working tip as well as the length and its type. We can also classify on the basis of its length, that is ordinary screw as well as Phillips screw. In this case, we can see in case of ordinary screw, this is a like a minus only, and Phillips screw, that is a plus size cross tip. Then pliers. Pliers are used for gripping small objects or bending wires. Pliers are also used to hold small objects and either tightening or loosening parts from its place. When we want to use the tightening or loosen parts from its place, somewhere bolts or pliers used for small objects where it is fixed. If we want to loose or we want to tighten, then we can use. There are several types of pliers. We have number of types of pliers are available in the market, which are used according to the need of the work required to be carried out by a technician. As a technician, we have to decide which type of pliers we can use. We should know about the type of pliers, and depending upon that types, we can ask for the purpose. Then classification of pliers again has been done according to the type, shape, size, application and the use of the pliers. Then with the help of these diagrams, we can see this is known as combination pliers, adjustable pliers, cutting pliers, nose pliers, bend and round nose pliers, circle pliers. Like first, in this case combination plier. Combination plier means we can use for the combination purpose. As per name, in this case combination purpose. Adjustable plier is we can use adjustable. Adjustable means we can again adjust depending upon the space and depending upon the requirement. Cutting plier, we can use wire, cut the wire with the help of this cutting plier. Circle plier, we can use the unhold or loosening the bolts. Nose plier, bend and round nose pliers, again we can use. Then files. Files also comes in the category of tools. Files are used for the removal of undesired material, where unwanted materials are removed. If we want to unwanted material removed and in very less quantity, then we have to use file. We fix our material bench wires and do our filing process. This is an essential tool in our workshop. Bench wires tool. Bench wires is a type of wires which is rigidly clamped on the bench. It has two jaws, one is fixed and other is movables. Used to hold the workpiece, means bench wires is used, main purpose use of the bench wires is hold the job for the working operation. Again in this case you can see in the from the diagrams, one jaw is fixed, other is movable. With the help of that movable job, you can fix the workpiece. Depending upon the size of the workpiece, you can fix. Then this is the different types of hammer used. One is ball pen hammers, then cross pen hammers and claw hammers. Depending upon these size and depending upon the requirement, like cross pen hammers, claw hammers, with the help of claw hammers you can unhold or you can withdraw the nails attached in the jobs. Then we have to use a special type of hammer. This is sledgehammers. Sledgehammers we can use for the purpose of different mallet hammers and chopper hammers. Again, without hammer we cannot use in the workshop. You can use in wooden material also mallet hammers. If we want to apply the more force, then we can use the sledgehammer as well as chopper hammers. Then special types of hammers. This is known as the Allen key. Allen key is again a special type of tools which loosen the workpiece or loosen the job. Then chisel. Again, chisel is an important tool for the workshop. We can unlock the materials from the holdings. Then drift and punch. Drift and punch. Punching is a type of device which is used for marking purpose. Marking purpose is again like a used to drawing, marking tools. Then special types, hexa frames. Hexa, we can use the material cutting. Hexa may be used in fitting shop as well as in a carpentry shop. Again from the hexa, with the help of different blades, depending upon our requirement, we can use the blades or size of the blades. Then wheel brace. In wheel brace there is a cross type. Then socket spanner. In this case, one of the facility we can use for a multi-purpose, depending upon our size requirement we can use. Then next is electrical drill. Electrical drill again is a tool with the help of electrical powers. We can use also in the domestic purpose, and we can also use in the workshop. Without this tool we cannot use or hold the jobs. Then next is bench grinders. Bench grinder is also one of the important tools to remove the unwanted or remove the less material from the workpiece. And power source is also a electrical power for the bench grinders. Then handling of the tools. Handling of tool is very important, because if we are not able to handle the tools, then again we are not able to find at the proper times. Toolbox is a place, or toolbox is a type of box in which is used to store our tools in a single place, so that we can use them properly and find them timely. Then pressure indicators. Again this is measuring tools. Measuring tools means in this case again we have to measure different parameters. One of the important parameter, that is pressure indicators or pressure parameters. Pressure indicator is a measuring indicator which is designed to measure and record the pressure in gases and liquids. First is fuel pressure testers. Means we have to use the fuel pressure, how much fuel is inside the vehicles, we can use with this tester and measures. Then oil pressure gauge. With the help of this oil pressure gauge, we can use how much the pressure of the oil inside the fuel tank or not. Accordingly we have to take decisions. Then next is tire pressure gauge. Tire pressure gauge. With the help of this gauge, we can use and measure the tire, how much pressure inside the tires. Depending upon that, we can decide whether we have to fill the air in the tire or not. That is also very important parameters. Then cylinder compression gauge. This is tool used for cylinder compression gauge, means you have to use the pressure of the cylinder also. Whatever pressure inside the cylinder, we can again use for the purpose of the filling purpose or not. Then this is the measuring tools. This is micrometer. With the help of this micrometer, there is two types. One is external, other is internal. External means we can use the external dimensions with the help of external. External dimensions means when we have to use the diameter of any pen or diameter of the circular bars outside, then we can use micrometers. Micrometer available in the market of different range, like 0 to 2.5 mm or 2.5 to 5 mm, depending upon our requirement. There one of the parameter, least count of these measuring instrument. Least count means you have to measure how much is the minimum measurement with the help of this instrument accurately without any calculations. Least count one of the parameters. Depending upon the least count, we have to decide or we have to use micrometers. Second diagram is known as the micrometer, that is for the internal, as per name in this case. Internal means in this case you have to measure the internal diameter of a ring. When you have to measure, then you have to use micrometer of internal micrometers. Again in this case different parts attached micrometers. Depending upon that dimensions, we can measure on the scale. Scale is given in the micrometers. We can get directly reading from these micrometers. Then next is vernier calipers. With the help of vernier caliper, there are manual type, other digital types. In digital type, we can directly use vernier caliper used for the measurement of the diameters, external diameters, internal diameters, as well as depth gauge. We can use the depth also. Again in this case, one of the main scale, other is vernier scale. With the help of these scales, we can measure, and we can again, depending upon the least count, we have to decide which type of verniers we have to use. If we want to measure the directly, or we want to get directly reading without any calculation, we can go for the digital vernier calipers, and if we are for the unskilled or skilled labor, we can use the digital, and for the skilled person, calculation required, and that for that calculation purpose we can use both. Then next is dial gauge. With the help of dial gauge, we can use the pressure inside the tire or pressure inside the cylinders, how much pressure exerted and how much pressure is to be exist in the cylinders. We can use with the help of the dial gauge. In the dial gauge, one sensor is attached and there are two knobs attached above of this. We can set the needle with the help of these knobs. With the help of these sensors, input parameters are known and output in the form of display is given. Then cylinder dial gauge, bore and bore dial gauge. In this diagram, one is given as cylinder dial gauge, that is also known as bore dial gauge. Bore means in this case internal diameter of any object, internal dimensions. With the help of bore dial gauge you can measure, and in this case number of attachments are given. Depending upon that requirement we can choose. Then filler gauge. Filler gauge attached number of strips and number of marks or measurements are given on the strips. Depending upon the space or depending upon the requirement, we can use different fillers. Then thread gauge, screw thread gauge, screw pitch gauge. In this case, thread is one of the important parameters in a mechanical systems. Screw pitch gauge. In thread, we have to measure the pitch. Pitch is used for a screw purpose. Screw means in this case distance between two consecutive points, crest or tops. You can measure with the help of thread gauge. Whenever you have to require to find the parameters or any parameters for a thread, then we can use the thread gauge. Then next is temperature gauge. Again, temperature gauge is one of the most important measuring tools for the vehicles. Whenever you have to measure the temperature of the radiators, temperature of the other parameters, temperature of the vehicles at the time of running, we can take the help with the help of temperature gauge. We can use and we can take the help. We can decide on the basis on the point of decision, we can use this temperature gauge. Then next is multimeters. These are the electrical and electronic measuring equipments. We can use the multimeters. With the help of these multimeters we can use. Then clamp current meters. With the help of clamp current meters we can use the current meters. Then next is battery testing equipment. Battery is one of the most important part in the vehicles. By this we can use for the light, or we can use the storage power for the accessories purpose, for the electronic systems, for the light purpose. So in this case battery testing equipment is very important to know the status of the battery, whether it is working properly or not. Then next is alternator testing. We can use alternator tester also for the purpose of alternators. So learners, we have studied about what are the tools used, how to handle the tools, and what are the different types of tools, how to handle, what are the important of the handling of the tools. These are the points we have studied in this lecture. Thank you very much.